Vegas is a frustrating bunch, aren't they, Winnipeg fans? So, you play a game you probably should have won, but you lose it. I've been watching Vegas do this all year. All year. I put the times of the goals because it's worth mentioning. It's 13:23 into the first period when Tomas Tatar scores from Theodore and Carpenter. And Tatar should have scored on the initial shot and kind of miffed on it, hit the post, and then he comes back and he tucks it in anyways. Before Winnipeg can really figure out what's going on, Jonathan Marchessault comes in on a pass from Riley Smith, and he scores to make it 2-0 with 2 minutes and 38 seconds left in the first period. Just like that. And those goals at the end of a period are killer. And they leave you on your heels. Second period, no scoring. The trap was in full effect for the Vegas Golden Knights. Third period, a power play for Winnipeg, and daylight shows up in the form of Kyle Connor getting a goal from Ehlers and Myers. And it's a minute and 28 seconds later, Jonathan Marchessault scores his sixth, his second of the game, from Riley Smith and William Karlsson. So what did we learn tonight? Vegas belongs here. Vegas has now won 9 games in the playoffs. Marc-Andre Fleury, 30 saves on 31 shots. He now has a 1.68 goals against and a 945 save percentage in these playoffs. Hellebuck, 25 saves on 28 shots. I don't blame him on the goals. I don't. And the one goal that Winnipeg got, I think Marc-Andre Fleury would want that back. Kind of went under his arm and threw him. And I think he would want that shot back. So, Vegas. First round, they're 2-0 on the road, 2-0 at home. Round 2, they're 2-0 on the road, or 2-1 on the road, 2-1 at home. This round, they're now 1-1 on the road. Overall, they're 5-2 on the road and 4-1 at home. Winnipeg, 3-0 at home, 1-1 on the road in round 1. Round 2, they were 1-2 at home, 3-1 on the road, and now round 3, they're 1-1 at home. They can't afford to have a mediocre home record and a good road record in this series because they have home ice. So, as weird as it sounds, it's a disadvantage for them to have home ice in this series because they've played better on the road. They're 5-3 at home now, and they're 4-1 on the road. It's going to be a long series. I really believe that. And I think this one's going to be close. With this win tonight now, Vegas has really shown themselves to be pretty darn good when they've needed to be, and I'm pretty sure that's one more win than I know it's one more win than St. Louis had. I'm pretty sure. St. Louis won 2 rounds, and it was quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. They didn't have a win in the finals, so I'm going to go ahead and go out and say Vegas now has more wins in the postseason than any other team in their first year. And St. Louis in 1968 was the only good team in their division. It was all expansion teams, and every other expansion team had an awful record. So I hate hearing about Vegas compared to the St. Louis Blues of 1968 because there's no comparison. Vegas beat good teams to get here. St. Louis beat other expansion fodder to get to the finals in 1968. And once Chicago moved over to that division, after a few years of St. Louis just dominating it, Chicago dominated St. Louis, and then St. Louis fell apart soon after that. Vegas is not the St. Louis Blues. Vegas has not been playing expansion fodder, and tonight they tied up this series. They had to win this game. Make no mistake about it, if Winnipeg had won this game tonight, this series could have been over in 5. But Vegas won this series. Or won this game, and now they're in this series. All Vegas has to do now is not lose at home. And that's it. Now, for Winnipeg, they're looking for at least a split in Vegas, if not winning both. Winnipeg is not going to take their foot off the gas, but there was some frustration in Winnipeg's game tonight. Winnipeg 5-on-5 just couldn't break through that Vegas barrier, and when they did, Fleury was there to make the save. This is Vegas hockey. This is what Vegas has been doing all year. And now they're doing it in the conference finals. And if anybody wants to talk about missed penalty calls, you know what? There was a lot of calls on both sides that got missed. And this is what the playoffs are. And a lot of people complain that, oh, they should just put away the whistle and let players handle it on their own. And that's what happened. This is letting the players decide it on their own. And Vegas wins this game. They win this game. I don't put this on refs. I didn't see anything really egregious in the second and third period that I live streamed on here. I watched the game. To me, it was a pretty clean, intense, these guys don't like each other kind of game. But I really didn't see a whole lot of egregious errors on behalf of the officials. I just don't see it. And I know it's making a lot of fans angry. There's a large backlash, and every single win that Vegas gets, that backlash gets louder from fans who say that this was somehow rigged. And I'm not going to defend it again because there's already a few videos on the channel about my opinion of that and what actually happened with Vegas to get them here. They're for real. Jonathan Marchessault is the best player that any expansion team ever had, and they didn't get him other than for the reason that Vegas wanted to get rid of, or Florida wanted to get rid of Riley Smith. So in order to get rid of Riley Smith, they had to agree to give up Jonathan Marchessault as well. It's insanity. We can all agree on that. But that is a big part of how Vegas got to where they are. If Florida doesn't make that deal so that Riley Smith is the expansion pick and Marchessault is the guy they give up, or Marchessault is the expansion pick and they traded Riley Smith to the team for a fourth rounder, are you kidding me? If you should be mad at anybody right now, it's Florida. Florida made this happen. So that's where you should direct your anger. The NHL didn't make Florida give Riley Smith and Jonathan Marchessault to Vegas. And they didn't make Pittsburgh give him Fleury either. Pittsburgh gave him a draft pick in order to make sure that they drafted Marc-Andre Fleury. This is just smart management and GMs panicking and giving them really pretty solid players. And it's going to happen again. So, as much as fans are going to be angry at Vegas right now, I would imagine 2 years from now, a lot of that anger will be directed at St. Louis or Seattle as well, because Seattle's going to have a good team. It's not going to be as good as Vegas's. We know that. But it's still going to be a pretty good team. And this Vegas story is going to continue for at least 3 more games. So we'll see where it goes from here. I know there's a lot of angry Jets fans right now. But there was a lot of cocky Jets fans as well that said this will be over in 4. Vegas can't hang with us. You can't argue that Vegas isn't good enough and then argue this is rigged. The NHL gave them too good of a team. Because if you take an expansion team like what Tampa or Ottawa or Florida or Anaheim, any of them had their first year, even officiating in their favor would not have got them to this level. It just doesn't happen. Great game by Vegas tonight. Winnipeg's got to answer in their favor. They've been better on the road than they have been at home. The bad news, they have home ice. They have to win at home. Now, I mean, if they can win 3 in Vegas out of 3, then yeah. But you don't really want to go to the finals that way, do you? I feel bad for Winnipeg fans when I see them all geared up and they're all excited before the game, and then a game like this happens. 2 of the last 3 games, or 3 of the last 3 games at home, Winnipeg has scored either 1 or less goals. No, I'm wrong. It was right the first time I said it. 3 of the last 4 home games, they've scored 1 goal or less at home. Because I know in Game 4 and Game 6 in Nashville, against Nashville, they got shut out in Game 6, I believe, and they had 1 goal in Game 4. Now they had 1 goal in Game 2, and that was after they had 4 in Game 1. And I said they caught Vegas napping in the first period of Game 1, and Vegas won the rest of the game, and people go, oh, rah. There we are. I really think Vegas is going to make a lot of people angry. And the worst part's going to be if it happens again next year. But we're a ways out from that for right now, so I'll just deal with the anger for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And yeah, I would love to see the Jets win a Stanley Cup and see a cup in Canada. Vegas is a damn good team, though. It's going to take a lot of work for them to take Vegas out for Vegas reasons. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.